So you got Visual Studio Code installed and you want to start coding for web development. Now, we are going to set up Visual Studio Code exactly for that, specifically for web development. I'm going to show you a couple of exceptionally good extensions that you need when you're starting to work in Visual Studio Code. By the way, this is part of a complete series for beginner web developers. So if you missed the first two episodes, which is installing Node.js and installing Visual Studio Code, then please check out the videos, the entire playlist. Also, this is going to grow to a even bigger one with much more videos to come. So, and before we get started, please be so kind, hit that like button. It really helps me out a lot. Also helps the channel grow. And also consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed in order to don't miss any kind of videos by clicking that notification bell. This being said, let's jump into Visual Studio Code. Hopefully you have it opened. And the first thing that we're going to do, we are actually going to create a file. So let's go to either file and open folder. Why open folder? Or you also create a file. But I would start with opening a folder due to the fact that Visual Studio Code always needs a source folder in order to get started. So you cannot just create a file somewhere. It needs to open always a folder. So we can go ahead and go open folder and just create a new folder, whatever you're going to call it. You can call it new folder or VS Code setup. And we're going to just open this folder, hit enter, select folder, and there we go. And there we go. We just opened the folder in Visual Studio Code. You can also create a folder on your desktop, click on it, drag and drop it into Visual Studio Code, automatically open it. And now let's just go ahead and create a simple HTML file. So I'm going to create here index.html. So that's the name of the file, and dot is the extension HTML. Hit enter, and there we go. Now, usually Visual Studio Code is the very first extension, already comes with Emmet installed. So if I hold down, for example, Shift and 1, which is exclamation mark, it's going to give me a doc tag. I don't want to do this because I want to show you something. Usually when you start writing code, there's a little helper called IntelliSense, and this is the very first one that we are going to install. How do we install extensions? Well, on the left side, you have these icons, and this one right here, which are 3 blocks and 1 block taking off there, is the extension blocks. Let's click on it, and this is going to open depending on how it's set up for you. These are all of my extensions that I installed. There's a lot of extensions. You don't need all of them. They're far more advanced extensions. But what we do need, you can also search up here. So usually they should be blank if you freshly installed Visual Studio Code. If not, you have anything installed, it's going to appear there. But we're going to search now for HTML and CSS. Oh, it's already there. HTML ES6 IntelliSense. And this is Visual Studio Code CSS IntelliSense for HTML. Basically what this does is helps you can see here, add automatically recognize IDs and class attributes for HTML tags. It supports also completion for HTML file define styles, supports specific remote and local style sheets, support for any language for completion, support for supports go-to definition for selected tag. And let's just start here by creating a boilerplate. So shift exclamation mark. And for example, if I want to go down here, click on div. This is using Emmet. Going to create me a div tag. And if I'm going to hover over it, it's going to give me a couple of explanations. Now, if I want to type in a ID, it's also going to give me here on the right side a explanation. Finds a unique identifier ID, which must be unique in the whole document. Okay, so this is basically what this does. It's already installed. If not for you, just click on here on install. For me, it's on install. Just click on install. It's going to automatically install it. And right now in the newest versions of Visual Studio Code, you no longer have to restart Visual Studio Code when you're installing or updating a extension. But some of them do require a restart. And instead of this icon, for example, we have here an icon for install. If a tag is already installed, so let's go open it up one more time. So there could be a update icon here or a restart icon. You just have to click on it and it's going to automatically do that for you. Okay, so we have this installed. Next, we're going to install a very useful one, which I did not have when I started web development, and that is the auto tag closer. So let's search for auto tag closer or auto close tag. Sorry, it's the other way around. So definitely install this. What this will do is automatically close your tags. So features automatically add close tags when you type in the closing bracket of the opening tag. After the closing tag is inserted, the cursor is between the opening and closing tag. Set the tag. So believe me, this helps you out a lot. When I started web development, you didn't have this kind of helpers. You always had to type out the entire tag, the opening and the closing tag of a HTML tag. Some tags have only opening tags and that's it. But for those, or you can also see the example down here. So they're typing in HTML, and we're also going to do this just in a couple of seconds. And then when they hit that slash, you're going to automatically insert for you the closing tag. So support auto close tags as Sublime Text 3, Sublime Text, and use keyboard shortcuts or command palette to add close tags manually. So let's try this out after you install this. Hopefully you already installed it. Let's type in here opening and HTML. And as soon as I close the opening tag, the closing tag will appear, and also the cursor will jump between those two tags. text. Let's do another one, the body, and close it up the opening tag, also going to automatically open this. Let's try it with an H1, close up the H1, also is going to close up, insert for me the closing tag. Let's type in here, hi, this is VS Code. This is VS Code. Okay, let's also type in here paragraph tag and just lorem and boom, lorem ipsum. There we go. Now, a quick setup. So this is not for per se a extension, more a setting. You saw that when I save the document, it's automatically arranged. Now, there's two things. First of all, there's an extension that we're going to talk about just in a couple of seconds. But secondly, if you go down to this little to the side, okay, so manage, click on it, command palette, click on it, and you need to type here toggle word wrap. And if this is on, then it's going to look like this. If it's disabled, then you're going to go outside the line. So if I would suggest to have it enabled. Okay, next up, let's see if I want to rename the paragraph tag, I have to rename it here, and I also have to rename it here. Now there is an extension that is going to help us automatically rename tags when we rename only one of them. So we're going to search for auto rename tag, and this is this little fella right here. Also install this one, and what this is going to do is, well, as the name says, it's going to automatically rename the opening and the closing tag. And not only that, for example, if I want this to be a article, here you see that it's already renaming the closing tag. If I want to change my H1 into an H2, I just hover with H1, change it to an H2, and it's going to change the opening and the closing tag. So simple as that, really helpful extension. Now, you're most probably also going to work with JavaScript. So let's create a JavaScript file here. Let's call this main.js, open it up. And now we're going to search for an extension that is called JavaScript ES6 code snippets. So what this does is it's going to help you to write fast JavaScript. So first of all, it's supported by JavaScript files, TypeScript files, JavaScript in React. Just need to change then from down here the editor type and TypeScript for React, HTML, and Vue files. So let's give a couple of examples. I'm going to drag this to the right side. Also, this is a pro tip. Want to have two windows open. You're just going to drag. Let me do it one more time. So let's say I want to have two editing windows, or also this. Right side, just going to drag it, drop to the right side. I'm going to have two windows open. Close this up. You can also have three windows open, but that is when you say like this. Woo! So let's say you have a large screen. You can have three windows open. If you want to close the window, just close the window from here. You want to drag it back here, two windows, and back to one window. So let's move this script file to the right side, and let's only have JavaScript open, the JavaScript file. So here a couple of examples as they're stated here. Let's see, we want to import something. You just type in imp, and it's going to create a module for you, or module import. You just have to type in now the name. Now let's go down to something more interesting. Constructor. Oh, a for each array. This is very useful. FRE. You can always see here for each array creates a for each statement in ES7 syntax, React Redux. So boom, there we go. You just have to rename here the array. We have a array 1, array names with Norbert, string Norbert, Laura, and let's say Darius, and you just have it here, replace it, and there you go. You already have the array. Boom, simple as that. Let's return here name for each name. Let's do a return the names, and there we go. Okay, so simple as that. And let me give you another example. Console log. Oh, the most useful one is CLG. This is going to create a console log, and then type in what you want to console log. We can console log the array. Going to get really useful just in a couple of seconds. But before that, you can see that everything is arranging here really quickly and really beautifully. Also here, I don't have to do any kind of indentation. Indentation means usually looks something like this when you're typing code. And for you, maybe it's not looking like this, and you were frustrated the entire video. I'm going to clarify why that is. There's one really useful extension that is, it makes your code prettier, and it's called Prettier. So let's go ahead and search for that extension. So Prettier, the favorite code of them all. It already has, like this here, 53 million downloads. Definitely install this. So here's an example what it does. Let's say you don't have pre-installed, then everything looks like this. But if you do have Prettier installed, as soon as you hit save, it's going to auto indent for you the code. Also, if you're having this problem, as I said, just go ahead. So the text is outside. Go ahead, go to command, word, click on it, or Alt C. I'm on a PC and I have a GeForce video card from NVIDIA, and when I press that, something else happens. So yeah, but as you can see, word wrap is toggled, and now the code is arranged very beautifully using also Prettier. Really helps you out a lot. So now we're going to come to the last extension, and that is when you want to run your code. So for now, we just created the HTML file, we created a JavaScript file, but we need to see somewhere these two files. Now you could, for example, go here, right click, and then reveal in File Explorer. If you have, if you're on a Mac, you should see reveal in Finder. So if you click on this, you will see that there is a later index.html, and depending of what kind of browser you use, you're going to see that icon. So I use Chrome as my default browser. So if I click on this, it's going to open up the code in Chrome. Hi, this is ES code, and there's my lorem ipsum. Now, and if I do some kind of update to my code, so let me just drag and drop it to the right side. On the left side, I'm going to have Visual Studio Code. On the right side, on the other side, I'm going to have my code, my website, my web page. So if I do any kind of updates here, hit save, it's not going to do anything here on my web page until I refresh. Okay, there's my update. So the solution for this is a extension, is a server on your PC, and that's why we're going to install now Live Server. Now this little fellow right here is one of the last but most useful extensions that you're going to use in Visual Studio Code, because you're going to create this server. So install it. As you have it installed, two things will happen. First of all, you're going to see down here a icon, and it's going to with a radio and go live. So you're going to click on this, and you are in a, so if you have a index.html file selected, you can just click on this, and it's going to open up. So you're starting, and it's going to open up that file in the browser, on whichever browser you have set as your default browser. It's Google Chrome, as it is for me. Then it's going to open it up here. Now you can also right click and open with Live Server, or use the command Alt L or Alt O, and it's also going to open. So I have now free opened up. Now the benefits of this, also you can just search for local host, and instead of this, we're going to have 5500, for example, and you're going to see your server running. Now the benefits of this is, if I type in here Norbert, if you can type Norbert correctly, and hit save, it's going to automatically update. You saw that refreshing here, and it already updates. So as soon as I hit save, and update my web browser. Okay, that's it for the extensions. Hope you like this video. Like and subscribe, and catch you in the next video. I'm Norbert BM, and I teach web development. Take care. Bye bye.